Lexington and Concord and what? What's important about those two battles? Basically, it's the first battles of the Revolution. The war is on, now we're at war, right? Okay. In your notebooks, I'm just going to have you guys take a few notes today, and it should take all of about 5 minutes. That's just like 3 slides. The notes you have you're taking today are titled here, and I'll put this up on the screen here in a second. Basically, what we have here is that Lexington and Concord had just happened. Okay? And the colonists now need to decide what their next plan of attack is. Can you guys see if I do that? Oh, how about I do this? There we go. The next plan of attack needs to kind of be created. Alright? Now the title is going to be Second Continental Congress. When was the First Continental Congress? Or what did they talk about? You guys remember at the First Continental Congress, we talked about this last week. Delegates from 12 of the 13 colonies got together to discuss kind of what they wanted to do against the British. You guys remember what they discussed? Rachel?
About starting to, everyone should start forming a militia.
Very good. One of the things they brought up about 6 months earlier was that they wanted every colony to kind of create their own militia, almost getting ready for war. They also asked the British to basically cancel all the tax laws. And they basically said, we're not going to trade with you, we're not going to buy your goods until you pass all the until you cancel all the tax laws. They also said, in roughly 6 months, we'll meet again, and we'll decide what we need to do next if this does not happen. Do you think they passed the tax laws? No. And since then, we've had Lexington and Concord happen in April of 1775. So in May of 1775, the Second Continental Congress, same group of men, are going to meet to discuss the next step. Okay? They're going to meet in May of 1775, so roughly a couple weeks to a month after Lexington and Concord have happened. These delegates are going to meet in Philadelphia. Can you guys think, why would they meet in Philadelphia and not Boston? Yeah? Yeah. If you think about it, there's we're talking thousands and thousands of British soldiers in Boston already. And if you're a delegate meeting to kind of decide what you want to do next, do you really want to meet in Boston? Probably not the smartest idea. Okay? So we're going to meet in Philadelphia. One of the biggest things they kind of come across is the fact that their demands have not been met. They asked the Parliament and King George III to kind of cancel all the tax laws. They did not meet their demands. So now they have to discuss, where do we go from here? The first 2 battles have been fought, but are they ready to declare war on Britain yet? Are they ready to actually go to war? Most people say yes, we're ready to go. Blood's already, been shed. People have died. It's time to go to war. There are a few, however, in this Congress that are a little hesitant. They don't want to go to war yet. Can you guys think of why some of these delegates were hesitant to go to war? Why didn't they want to go to war, do you think? Rachel, what do you think?
England had a lot better army than Britain.
Yeah. Okay. The British, like the video clip said, and like I said last week, they were the most powerful country in the world at this time. They had fought all over the world. They were highly trained, highly experienced, the best generals in the world, lots of equipment. Okay, going against an unorganized militia, right? They had the best navy in the world. The chances of you winning this war against them are very slim, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going to go to war, they better be prepared for what might happen if they lose. That's why some people were still hesitant. Some people still wanted to try to calm things down. So in order to they reached a compromise, which is kind of an agreement between the 2 sides. And in the compromise, they agree that each colony is going to take steps toward independence. Meaning they're not going to declare their independence yet, but they're going to take steps towards independence. And the first step is for each colony to kind of write their own new constitutions, because their previous constitutions in each colony, the laws that they had, were pretty much written for them by the governors that were appointed by the king. So each colony now is, create a new group of representatives, and you write your own constitution. So this is kind of the first step for declaring your independence. The next big thing that they're going to decide is crucial. It's something that they're lacking. Think about the British and their biggest strength at this time, right? What was the biggest weakness of the colonists at this time? Not money. Think about Lexington and things like that. And maybe think about that painting I showed you on Friday. What was one of the things the colonists did not have?
Guns.
Okay, some sort of, yeah, they needed weapons, sure. What else do they need? Think military-wise. They were outnumbered, so they need to have more soldiers, right? What else do they need to have? Desperately.
Experience and love.
Okay, they need training, right? They need a leader? Do they have a leader? No. Okay. So they need a leader. They need to be more organized as a military. Instead of having 13 separate militias, they need to have one army, and one leader. So the main thing that's kind of discussed at this Congress is they're going to create the Continental Army, which is basically a collection of all the militias. So you're no longer going to have 13 separate militias. You're going to have basically one army now. And that army, they chose as the leader is George Washington. Okay? Now George Washington has some experience. What kind of war experience does he have? You guys, we've talked about this before. Caleb?
He led militia at Fort Duquesne.
Not point of necessity.
Or,
Yeah, okay. We talked about him during the French Indian War. And during the French Indian War, who was he a military leader for? The British. He was a British, I think he was a British commander during the French Indian War. 20 years earlier was the Fort Necessity battle. And since then, he fought for the British in the French Indian War, helped them defeat the French. So he has experience. He has training. He actually had training through the British Army. So he kind of knows how to create and develop a functional army. So he's the most logical choice to run this Continental Army. Now just naming him and creating it is one thing, but actually putting it together and putting it in practice is another. So they're going to have a long road ahead, but they're on the right track. They have a leader. They're starting to get more organized. Once you have that, you can put your notebook away. So may I have any questions over the Second Continental Congress?